Welcome to Seacrest Studios at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. There currently are 11 of these studios in children's hospitals across the country. They are the pride and joy of the Ryan Seacrest Foundation and the matriarch of the family, Connie Seacrest.
This was our first. I used to call my grandchildren, but now I got a real one, so I have to be careful.
This is incredible. I mean, just looking at this facility. How did the Seacrest Foundation get into doing the Seacrest Studios?
It's another one of those stories about dinner. We were with Ryan and Meredith, and he said, I want a foundation, but I want to see something that happens. I just don't want to write a check. I want to see something that really makes a difference. And he said, the only thing I know is radio and TV. And he had, when he was in LA, he had gone to the Children's Hospital in Orange County, the whole radio team. And he saw these children and what a difference it made when there was music and fun. And so he said to his dad, Dad, can we form a foundation? And Gary said, well, I've never done that, but sure. Gary came over and spoke with Donna Hyland here at CHOA and made a presentation. And she said, yes, let's do it. And she didn't have a clue, and we didn't have a clue, but here we are in the very first studio. And now we have 11, and we have 12 and 13. Okay, children are upstairs. They're sick. They don't want to get up. They don't want to do anything. Their parents don't know what to do. They can come down to the studio. You see all these pictures around here? All these people have visited our studio. If they can't come down, they can listen to it on their TV. In a bad time, the studios were the one thing that brought good and happiness in hospitals. So it's beyond anything we ever dreamed of, but we're so excited about it. And then I have parents come up to me and say, please tell your son thank you. This means the world. My daughter didn't want to get up. She didn't want to get dressed. And now she says, okay, let's go. And then people who come in as outpatients, they want to come when the studio's open. So I don't know, we don't know how it happened, but we're so thrilled.
So can the kids, when they come in here, produce their own music and do,
Oh yeah, I mean, they become little DJs. And some of them have their own shows. It's just amazing. They have a DJ name. Yeah, it's cool.
And to think it all started with your little DJ.
Oh, you're right. Oh, little Casey Kasem making the countdown in his bedroom. It's crazy. So, follow your dream.
And Ryan John Seacrest just didn't dream. He went after his dream as a young student.
He was wise beyond his years. I can tell you, when he started riding the school bus, Charlie was the bus driver. Charlie would let Ryan play tapes. Ryan would make music tapes on the bus. So he would do the first round, and then Charlie would let him ride the second round to play his tapes. So this was, okay, he loves music. Next thing you know, we're going to the beach. And he said, okay, Mom, I'm gonna do the countdown like Casey Kasem. And we had music driving to the beach. I mean, this is young. So I saw his love for music. And for Christmas, he'd want a mixer and a microphone. I mean, yeah, at that age, who knows where that would take him, right?
And the next thing you know, when he gets to high school,
yep,
he's working at Star with Tom Sullivan.
So Ryan was at Dunwoody High School, and he started calling into Tom and talking to Tom, and Tom thought he was in college. Next thing you know, they had a tryout for the voice of Dunwoody, and he won that. So he does the announcements. Now, his principal, Jenny Springer, said, no one listened to the announcements until Ryan started doing the announcements. And then everybody's listening because he's bringing in tips from Tom. And then Tom invited him down to the studio. And next thing you know, Ryan is an intern. And he's doing nights on the weekends when he's in high school. And Gary and Connie are driving him and trying to keep awake so we can go pick him up. But it was his passion. And then he went to University of Georgia and he worked weekends. He'd drive in from Athens and work weekends at Star 94. And to this day, Tom and I are great friends.
So when he was doing this as a parent, how did you encourage, but yet in the same vein, try to keep him from overdoing it?
I didn't do such a good job. Today, my son overdoes it. But, you know, we tried to listen to what he wanted to do. And I'll never forget, he wanted to talk to us about leaving University of Georgia and going to LA. And so we had one of our house meetings, and he presented his case. And of course, my husband's an attorney, and he had a lot of questions for Ryan. And Ryan said, "Mom, I can always come back. People tell me I'm good, but I want to know." So we decided that, okay, follow your dream.
Tonight, it's double the competition, double the drama. Get ready for a twist no one sees coming. This is American Idol.
Okay, what's the worst part about being the mother of Ryan Seacrest?
So when Ryan got out in LA and you start seeing things written about him, and he said to me, "Mom, you have got to get thick skin. You just put on your big girl pants and get thick skin, because people are going to write all kinds of things and they're not necessarily true." And I think that is the hardest part for me, when you see people writing things and you know they're not true. And people will say to me, "Oh, I read this about Ryan," and I'm like, okay, what have I said? Do not believe everything you read.
When he was named to replace, and you never replace, but to fill in for, of course, Dick Clark, I screamed, because it was like, I grew up with Dick Clark, you know, and now your son is the new, quote unquote, Dick Clark.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, Dick Clark was a mentor for him, and he had a relationship with Dick Clark for a number of years before this ever happened. Gary and I were in New York and met Dick Clark when Ryan was on with him. And then, of course, when he took it over, we were standing down there with the music in New York, New York, and it was another dream come true for you.
What advice would you give to parents who have a child like yours, who has an interest, to help them along?
Well, you encourage them to follow their passion. But then on the other hand, you know, I've had people ask me that through, like when I meet people from American Idol, the moms and things, and I say, make sure they're surrounded by good people. I mean, make sure that if you get into management or whatever, make sure you have trustworthy people. Ryan was very fortunate in that his father, being an attorney, could look over contracts, could help him in a lot of ways, and still does. But it's about the people that you keep around you and let them follow their dream. They can still come back home.
Coming up, why Ryan Seacrest now is called Farmer John by his family, and his mother's thoughts about him still being a bachelor.